Good evening, everyone. Praise be to Listen Lord. It's another evening, and we are meeting with you on YouTube through live stream. So peace and grace of Lord Jesus Christ be with you all, those who are our brothers and sisters, and good evening to those who are yet to be our brothers and sisters. Hope you can all hear us. Hope sound is all good. You should be able to see Brother Daniel on the panel. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing? Hit that like button on YouTube, and we're going to talk about something that controversial, but we'll see how it goes. But hope everyone is well. Any questions you have, put it into at DCCI Ministries, and I will try to get to all your questions.
Thank you, Daniel. And also we've got sister with us. Let's identify her as our Arabic expert who is willing to just expose the misinterpretations of Dawatim.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
How are you, sister?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for calling me an expert.
Well, you are the only one who speaks Arabic within us. Can I just get permission from you, sister, and also from Daniel, that you are happy to be recorded?
Yes.
Yeah, happy to be recorded.
Great. And one of your mic is on or something. I'm just like hearing what I'm saying. I don't believe that's normal. Whoever that person is, can you just like deal with it for the sake of your health? Okay. So, what are we going to do this evening or late evening is we will be looking at Quranic verse, which is in the Quran, Surah 4, verse 34. But before that, like those of you who watch the news today or who has been keeping eye on what's happening in the world, you can all notice that UK government needs Jesus urgently. Kind of House of Parliament is like getting pretty messy. They need Jesus. People need Jesus. So those of you who likes praying, who likes interceding for others, please do pray for country of United Kingdom. It's been like my news just like popping up every other minute regarding something is happening in the House of Parliament. So they just need more of Jesus. Okay, that's all, let's say, chit-chat part of our introduction. Let's just first go and check our Arabic speaker. Dear sister.
Yes.
Last time when I checked, you were able to speak Arabic.
Yes.
Are you able to speak Arabic tonight? Can you just confirm tell us hi in Arabic or say something useful to us in Arabic so we confirm your Arabic knowledge?
Yes, I still speak it. I say أيها الأحباء لا تصدقوا كل روح بل امتحنوا الأرواح لتعرفوا ما إذا كانت من عند الله أم لا لأن عددا كبيرا من الأنبياء الدجالين قد انتشر في العالم. So what I just said was 1 John 4:1, Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world.
Thank you. I think like we can say she reads Arabic, she speaks Arabic. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us in Arabic what does it mean? How do you say Jesus is Lord?
يسوع هو الرب. So Yeshua is the Arabic word for Jesus.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's not Isa?
Isa, I don't know who Isa is, but it's not Jesus.
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So Daniel, let's practice your language. Make sure you learn this word so that we can practice at Speaker's Corner.
I'm pretty sure by the end you guys will speak Arabic by the end of this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think it's all right because God of Bible can understand the language I am trying to speak,
Yeah.
and God of Bible can communicate with me with my mother tongue.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty funny if I'm trying to worship a God who doesn't even understand the language I'm speaking. I'll stick with Yahweh, and then I leave Arabic to those who are expert on it. So, Surah 4, verse 34.
Mm-hmm.
Before I kind of set up the verse, overall, what we are going to do is today look at the Islamic teachings on part of marriage, but mainly focus on, guys, one of your has mic on or something. I can hear what you are, like what I'm saying, even though one of my ear is deaf, I can still hear it is saying something. Yeah, I think it's better now. So even, sorry, what we are doing tonight is looking at the Quranic verse, which is linked with the marriage and husband and wife. And then we kind of try to see what does it teaches about how do you deal when there is a disagreement in the household. And we are going to look at what is the Allah's divine revelation, divine solution for that, alongside of how did Muhammad interpret it. So this is very well known verse. I am sure our Christian brothers and sisters used in your engagement, you used in your engagements with Muslims. So let me just put it up for us. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see it.
Great.
That is big. Beat them.
Daniel, don't talk to like that. That's not very nice thing to say.
Sorry, I've been a hate preacher, right? Sorry, I'll tone it down.
Okay. So, if you can see my screen, Daniel, why don't you read it for us, since your English is much better than
Sure.
English?
Sure, men are the protectors and maintainers of women because Allah has made of them to excel the other, and because they support them from their means. Therefore, the righteous women are devotedly obedient and guard in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. As to those women on whose part you fear disloyalty and ill conduct, admonish them, refuse to share their beds, beat them, but if they turn to obedience, seek not against them. What did you do there? You zoomed in. The means
Okay.
and fear Allah Most High Great, whatever that was. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, I did zoom it to make sure like it's bigger for people who are watching. I tried to fix it, but I don't know if I did something wrong or not.
That's fine. Surah 434. So can you keep
So,
going?
Surah 434. If you fear, your wife is going to be disloyal to you. This is like if you fear, okay? It's not like she has done anything yet. Allah gives the divine solution. How do you deal with the issue? And divine solution is, remember, Allah is all-knowing, all-wise, and Quran is the eternal word of Allah. So this has been put together before Allah created everything else. Okay? Allah's divine solution is beat them. If you fear husband is gonna do, wife is gonna do something, you beat them. Okay. First, let's get the man's view on this. Daniel,
Yes.
how do you feel with this divine revelation? Is it wrong? Is it wrong to beat your wife?
It's the epitome of wrong. You know, epitome means is the standard. This is the measure of wrong. Because for you to be able to degrade women in that position of beating them, I mean, it's like acting as if you are the dad and they're the children. You're even treating them like a child. They're not even adults. So most definitely is wrong, and most definitely this is not from the true God who created both man and woman.
Okay, sorry. I'm struggling to understand.
Mm.
Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong to beat your wife?
It's wrong to beat your wife because we're both made in God's image, and we're not created to beat one another, but to love one another.
Do you remember? Was it you or was it Godwin? I was talking with this Muslim man. He was like, "Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong?"
Yeah, I think so, vaguely.
Anyway.
I mean, when they're brainwashed, when they are brought up with this kind of mentality, of course it's not wrong. But in any circumstance, this is wrong completely.
Okay, and remember the part which says, if you fear, those are the actions. If you fear your wife is going to do something, your wife is going to be disobedient, then admonish them, refuse to sleep with them, and the solution, next one is beat them. Okay?
Yep.
So, sister.
Yes.
Do you think is it wrong to beat your wife?
Like you said, sister, it says if you fear. So remember, she hasn't disobeyed yet. The man only has to have a suspicion that she will. So can you imagine the suspicions we have, the worries we have? Most of them don't come true. It could just be paranoia. So he's the God of the universe. Will he ask someone to act on a suspicion before he's sure, and go ahead and admonish and desert the bed and beat? So I mean, besides the beating being wrong, like brother said, it's just very paranoid, isn't it?
I don't think you answered my question. Why is the beating wrong?
The beating, well, the obvious is you beat another human being. You know, is she a child? I mean, even with children, I mean, the basis for marriage, as I can imagine it, is love between two people. So if you have one above the other who's, you know, holding a stick or a toothbrush or whatever and waiting for the other person to disobey and then beat them, is that even a marriage?
So even me to ask that question is wrong. Why beating is wrong? Beating is wrong. Wrong.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you beat or what are the tools Allah is giving you to beat.
Yeah.
It is wrong. And wrong is wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, sister, for us to just clarify the Arabic, probably my translation might be wrong. Can you see the Arabic version of this verse?
I can, yeah. I've got it here.
I'll stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah, can you share it with us?
Yeah, I've shared it. Can you see?
Not yet, not yet.
Yes. So can you read it in Arabic? Maybe in Arabic it is talking about if you fear your wife is going to be disobedient to you, it might be saying have hot chocolate with her. Let's see what Arabic says.
How about you just okay. Yeah, we'll comment later. So let's read first. الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله واللاتي تخافون نشوزهن فعظوهن واهجروهن في المضاجع واضربوهن فإن أطعنكم فلا تبغوا عليهن سبيلا إن الله كان عليا كبيرا. So that's the Arabic. The word that we're looking for is اضربوهن, which means to strike.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we use the dictionary, the Lane dictionary, if I just go to it, right here. So that's the root of the word, daraba. I've highlighted some of it: beat, strike, might, hit, in an intensive sense, beat, much violently. You could use the same word for strike with a whip. And in the Quran, you can use for the same word for smite the neck, darab al-anaq, or strike off the head. So it's obvious that it's a violent striking, not just a light striking like some translations say.
Okay.
Yeah. And the word for disobey here is nushuz. Nushuz. Again, if you go to the dictionary, you can see here what the word nashaza, which is the root of the verb. Disobedient, exalts herself against him. That means she puts herself above him. Resists the husband, withstands the husband, dislikes him, hates him. Any of that is the basis for the beating.
Okay. So since I am not English speaker and since my English is very bad,
why do you keep saying that?
You know, English is not bad. Stop saying it.
Come on, guys. If I say bad, I will believe it as the time goes on. So, as sister, as you read the definition, this is my toothbrush. Is Allah talking about beat your wife with the toothbrush?
Well, if you're gonna beat her with the toothbrush, how are you gonna do it violently?
It does hurt, actually.
Actually, that one is
the electronic toothbrush.
Exactly, the electronic toothbrush could be violent. I remember.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I didn't think of that. I thought you meant the normal.
Oh, you could take the heading off, and then in here you got this iron thing. You can just like.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the 7th century, they didn't have that.
They didn't have electric toothbrushes back then.
Okay.
They didn't even have toothbrushes, really, as we know it. They had something called miswak, which is like a little. I don't know if you've seen it.
I think as a little as like sometimes we do see Muslims are using it speaker corner, but actually it's like huge stick, you know, it's like small part of that huge stick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not toothbrush, it's not like this toothbrush. Can you just go to the Arabic definition again, because it doesn't match with the Arabic definition. Sister, can you turn on the Arabic definition again for us regarding the beat?
The beat, yeah. So he says here, he beat, struck, smite, or hit.
Yeah.
In an intensive sense. So, like with a whip, he says here with a whip. Yeah. Or even if you want to strike someone's head off, like with a sword, they use the same verb. So how is that done with a toothbrush? Like, it doesn't make, unless you've got like lots of toothbrushes and you like, I don't know.
If you got those big like 1 meter one, you know, like if you are just beating with the 1 meter one.
But then that's not lightly, is it? That's the same thing.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Arabic definition doesn't talk about something having hot chocolate. Arabic definition is talking about violently beating or hitting your wife. Intensive sense.
Yes. Yes. And actually, talking of the hot chocolate, there is another verse that talks about when a man is a disobedient, not disobedient, like doing the nushuz, which is a hating of the wife or bad behavior.
Okay, let's see. If wife has in that case, if wife can beat the husband.
It's the same surah, verse 128.
Yeah.
It says here, and if a woman fears from her husband contempt or evasion, there's no sin upon them if they make terms of settlement between them, and settlement is best. So
let me just get this right.
Yeah.
Husband can beat me, let's say, sake of the argument, toothbrush.
Yeah.
But if my husband is annoying me, what do? I use the toothbrush again, because, like equality.
No. If your husband is the one who's wrong, like you see that verb, nushuz, we talked about?
Yep.
Same one. He says, then you try and work it out with him. You try and set. Why couldn't Allah say the same for when a woman is disobedient, to try and talk to her and settle it? Why is it so soft here for the man?
I think this is the time all the feminists needs to kind of scream out.
Feminists.
Something is not right.
I'm not a feminist, but I'm just like a normal human being. I'm just looking at the two verses. It's so soft for the man and so harsh for the woman. I mean, can she deserve?
Daughter of Christ, why are you being a hate preacher by saying that Islam is not for a woman? Muhammad is the best man, the best example that we have. He's mercy to mankind. Why are you being a hate preacher, lad?
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what. It's because I've joined you guys, so now you've rubbed off on me. I've become a hate preacher too.
The truth hurts.
Okay, let me just put this in perspective.
Yeah.
So, Quran is the eternal word of Allah.
Yeah.
Quran is what Allah is thinking, okay? And 570 man called Muhammad born somewhere in Arabia. And in 610, Allah gives his divine word to Muhammad, okay? And identifies Muhammad as the best example to mankind. And Muhammad delivers the verses which says, if you fear your wife is going to be disobedient to you, you beat them.
Well, yeah, if you advise them first, you tell her off first, say, one more out of you, one more bad word out of you, I'm getting the toothbrush. And then you leave the bed, or you don't talk to her, you don't, share the room. And then after that, she's still the same, you beat her violently. However, whatever.
Can I just challenge that order? So you are putting the order forward as first you tell off your wife. If she's still tomorrow, if you still felt that if you fear that she's gonna be disobedient to you, that's tomorrow. You tell your wife, I'm not gonna sleep with you. And then on the third night, if you still fear that she's gonna be disobedient, not to Allah, by the way, to you as a husband, then you beat her. That's the order you are giving it to me.
Well, that's very interesting. If you see the screen here, the translators have put the order first in brackets, and then it says if they persist in brackets, and finally in brackets. That's actually put in by them. The verse itself doesn't say that. The verse says wa. Wa means and. You see wa here?
Yeah.
The nine looking thing?
Yeah.
It means wa. So it actually says admonish them or advise them and forsake them in the bed.
Yeah.
And beat them. So it doesn't say then, it says and.
So this is one thing, it's not a sequence.
It's not a sequence. Would have been thumma. Thumma means then, but wa means and. So he could actually choose any one or do all three. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to challenge, because remember, this is what Allah wants Muslim to practice. Okay, this is what you do. Allah doesn't give them first do this, second do this, then do this. Allah doesn't say that.
No.
So we want to go to life of Muhammad. And then see how did Muhammad, who's supposed to be the best example to mankind, interpreted this. Okay, did he follow the advice and then forsake them in the bed and then strike them, like in order, or there is something else going behind?
Shall I? Yeah, you can share your screen, sister.
Okay. So you need to stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is. So I'm just trying to make this bigger. I don't know if it is bigger.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's
Just
good.
keep
We
it
can
like
see.
Okay. Daniel, our English speaker, can you read it for us?
There's a lot of Arabic word in this. So. Okay, Sayyid Muqatil. This verse was revealed about Sayyid ibn al-Rabi, who was one of the leaders of the helpers, and his wife Habiba bin Zaid ibn Abi Zuhair, both of whom from the helpers. It happened Saad hit his wife on the face because she rebelled against him. Interesting. Then her father went with her to see the Prophet. Allah bless him and give him peace. He said to him, I give my daughter in marriage, and he slapped her. What did the mercy of mankind say? The Prophet of Allah bless him and give him peace said, let her have retaliation against her husband. As she was leaving with her father to execute retaliation, the Prophet Allah, you mean the Prophet of Allah? Okay. Bless him and give him peace, called them and said, come back, Gabriel has come to me. And Allah exalted is he revealed this verse, the messenger of Allah, blessed him and gave him peace and said, we wanted something while Allah wanted something else, and that which Allah wants is good. Retaliation was then suspended.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Wow.
The mercy to mankind. Wow.
What do you think about that, Daniel?
There is inequality in that, isn't it? Because if it was the other way around, women having problem with the man, as we read in Surah 4128, I don't think it would have been suspended, the retaliation. So I can see inequality there.
Sister, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like, if this was my husband and I was that woman and he slapped me on the face and I went to the Prophet of God himself to get some justice, God revealed the verse that says, no, no retribution, no punishment, go back home. I feel like, what did God just create me just to humiliate me then and have this man just do whatever he wants to me, slap me, whatever, with no consequence? Why didn't the Prophet tell him off for slapping me? Where's the mercy?
Yeah, remember, this is like what Allah wants. This is Allah's view, Allah's revelation.
Yeah.
Can you zoom it out, Hatun, a little bit?
Don't be fussy, Daniel. Don't put. Is it better?
No. Keep zooming out.
Zoom out.
Yeah.
You mean make it smaller?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know what you did. It was better last time. Anyway, keep going. Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay. Anyway, so we do in this story we've got Allah, Angel Gabriel steps in and then gives Allah solution to husband who beat the wife on the face, and then the wife's father is complaining about it. He's not happy. They are going to Muhammad. Allah steps in and then gives the solution. Okay. So let's go to the next one. We are going to read a couple of hadith and then put them all together. Okay. Can you see my screen better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, would you like to read it, brother?
Shall I read it? Okay. Narrated Abdullah bin Zama. The Prophet said, none of you should flog his wife as he flogs a slave and then have sexual intercourse with her in the last part of the day.
So you can flog the wife, but don't do the same way you would do to your slave. The reason for that is because you are going to have a sex with your wife.
Mm.
Sister, do you have Arabic version of this?
I do indeed. 1 second, I will get it. Yes, I've got it here. I'll just share my screen.
Okay, first I need to stop sharing. Yeah.
I've got it here in the English and the Arabic.
Okay.
So the word for flog is right, yaglid. And the word for this as well, the sleeping with her is there as well.
Yeah.
So you help me out here because it says exactly in the Arabic as it does in the English.
Okay.
What
I need help. Just a moment. I need help. You are already like English speaker and Arabic speaker.
Then you can ask Daniel then.
What is flog means? Flogging means? Is it like something gentle?
No, flogging is when you have a whip.
Yeah.
And you do it usually on the back, on a bare back. Like, the punishment for fornication is 100 flogs on the back, 100 whips.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen any of those disturbing videos in Saudi where they do the punishments, the Muslim punishments.
So
Yep.
it's not something you do with toothbrush, is it?
No, you do it with a whip.
Okay. Okay. So it's not that peaceful.
Well,
it's painful.
Well, people have been known to die from flogging. And flogging definitely leaves a mark on the back.
Okay.
So here it says you shouldn't flog your wife as you flog your slave. My question is, why flog anyone? Why are you flogging the slave? Do you know what I mean? And then so you should flog your wife less than a slave then? Or if you flog her like a slave, then don't sleep with her in the end of the day. It just confuses me. Even in the Arabic, it's like, what conclusion am I meant to get from this if I was a man?
Okay, since both of us kind of female, Daniel,
because we're stuck in the middle here.
Daniel, give us the man view on this. When you read this, what does it tell you?
It's quite disturbing, to be honest. I feel sorry for you women. It's so bad.
No, we are Christians, so you don't feel sorry for us because
I feel sorry for the Muslim women. I mean,
because in Christian scripture, it is talking about husband needs to love the wife as Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
Husband needs to give up his life for the wife.
The same way Christ loved the church, and Christ loved the church by dying for her. So you're supposed to do that for your wife. You're supposed to go to death for your wife, sacrifice your life for her. This doesn't sound like sacrifice to me. It sounds like she's sacrificing her life.
Yeah. Yeah. And think about it. For a man to really beat his wife, I mean, as far as I know, we can ask Daniel again. Men, when they marry someone or when they love someone, they want to protect them. So for that protection to be broken, and you are actually the one who's causing harm, something has really got broken in your relationship. You're no longer a protector. You're the one who's harming her.
There is a Turkish saying, best mother-in-law is the one who is dead. So yeah, so best mother-in-law is the one who is dead. Okay, that's like when you translate it, it's something in that line. So in here, the way you show your love to your wife is you flog her alongside of you flog your slave, but you do not flog your wife as much as you flog your slave.
And what kind of person flogs her and then sleeps with her? Like, so it's not about love, it's just using her.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep. It's just sexual intercourse. They are objects to be used. And you can tell this is just completely man-made and it's not from God. Because
Okay.
God does not degrade his creation like this.
Let me move to the next slide.
Mhm.
Sister, stop sharing.
It just takes a second.
Yeah. Uh, okay, let's move to next one. Next one is the similar again.
Yeah.
Daniel, do you want to read this one?
I'm so sorry for
Yep.
him.
Flogging your wife. Narrated by Basra, a man from the Ansar called Basra said, I married a virgin woman in her veil. When I entered upon her, I found her pregnant. I mentioned this to the prophet. The prophet said, she will get the dower, for you made her okay, lawful for you. The child will be your slave, and when she has begotten a child, flog her according to the version of Al Hassan. The version of Ibn Asul Sari has, you people flog her, or said, inflict hard punishment on him.
Okay.
Disturbing to read it.
Sister,
Yeah.
what does it tell you as a woman?
Well, first of all, this thing that he said about she will not get the dowry because you made her whatever lawful for you. So basically, you just pay the dowry so that you can purchase something.
Yeah.
Mm,
So he's saying, this is the spiritual leader, the prophet. Someone came to him and said, "Oh, the lady is pregnant, so she's committed a sin," and all he cares about is, "Oh, where will the money go?" Well, you've already done it, so the money goes to her. You've purchased it already, and then make her child your slave. What did the child do here? Why does he have to be a slave?
mm,
And obviously, I remember when the Jesus Christ had the adulteress come to him, and everybody wanted to stone her, and the response was very different, wasn't it, from Jesus Christ? He said, "He who has no sin cast the first stone." He didn't say go and stone her and take her child as a slave and don't, and then flog her. Did he?
mhm.
Yeah. Let me move a little bit quicker. Um, so um, now I've got a Sahih Bukhari on the screen.
Mhm.
Um, this is one of the sad ones. Okay, Daniel,
Yeah.
English expert, can you read it for us?
Okay. Narrated Ikrama Rifa divorced his wife, whereupon Abdurrahman, whatever, married her. Aisha said that the lady came wearing a green veil and complained to her, which was Aisha, of her husband, and showed her green spot on her skin caused by beating. It was the habit of the ladies to support each other. So when Allah's apostle came, Aisha said, I have not seen any woman. Aisha is saying this, the mother of your faith, Muslims, suffering as much as the believing woman. Look, her skin is greener than her clothes. When Abdurrahman heard this, his wife had gone to the Prophet. He came with his two sons from another wife. She said, by Allah, I have done no wrong to him, but he is impotent and is useless to me as this. Holding and showing the fringe of her garment, Abdurrahman said, by Allah, O Allah's apostle, she has told a lie. I am very strong and can satisfy her, but she's disobedient and wants to go back to Rifa. Allah's apostle said to her, if that is your intention, then know that it is unlawful for you to remarry Rifa unless Abdurrahman has sexual intercourse with you. Then the Prophet saw two boys with Abdurrahman and asked them, can you scroll it up? I can't see it. All right. Okay, I can see it. Don't worry. Are these your sons? On that, Abdurrahman said, yes. The Prophet said, you claim what you claim. But by Allah, these boys resemble him as a crow resembles a crow.
Okay. So there are some good things in this hadith. Okay. So good things would be there is a woman, she sees the suffering of another woman. Aisha sees the suffering of Rifai's divorced wife, and she concerns for her.
Yeah.
She looks at this wife and then she sees her skin is greener than her dress. Okay?
Yep.
She concerned for her. That's good thing.
Yeah.
And then another good thing is now she goes to the man who's supposed to be the best example to mankind, and then she's asking for advice. That's very good thing. But things get messed up after that. Okay. For those of us who are not English speaker, Daniel or sister, can you just tell me what did Prophet of Islam told the husband who beat the wife and made her skin greener than her dress? Okay.
Yeah.
How did Muhammad tell him off?
I don't see any telling off. Do you?
Nope.
Someone like you, man who's supposed to be the example to mankind.
He didn't say don't beat her, or you should have beaten her lightly. Why has she got green green skin? Why does she have bruises? He told it's just he told her to go and sleep with him. Like I don't what how does that help anything, first of all? And then he said he implies that she lied about the impotence thing because his boys resemble him.
Yeah.
So he seems to have taken his side. He's seeing a battered woman. The mercy of mankind is seeing a battered woman in front of him, and doesn't tell the husband to not do that again. I don't see that. And he takes the side of the husband about her telling a lie about whether he's strong or not. And that's all he cares about. Whether you're strong enough all he cares about is the physical side. And where is the mercy here?
So as we can imagine, those of us who spent lots of time to watch movies, when this woman and the husband, when they go home, I don't know how to put this nicely, but when they go home, when they have a sex, because now she has to have sex with him, that's not gonna be the like love at first sign or something. But that's not in the hadith anyway. So that is like, of course, after this conversation, lots of other things might take place as well. Sister, do you have Arabic version of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to share it?
Yes, I'm going to ask you to share it so that we don't represent the religion of peace wrongly.
So it's a bit of a longer hadith. It's as you said it. Obviously, Aisha, she says here in the Arabic, I don't see anyone suffer as much as the believing women. So that implies that the pagan women weren't being beaten as much as the Muslim women. The Christian women, the Jewish women, the believing women, the Muslim women were being beaten the most. Yeah. And
by the way, remember, in this stage, Aisha is teenage. Okay, yeah. Remember, Aisha was just a child when he married. As she's observing what's happening around, and she says, I never seen any woman beaten like this, like the believers, like the Muslims.
Yeah.
She's concerned for the suffering Muslims are going through.
So she's more compassionate than Muhammad.
or even Allah, because Allah in this occasion, angel doesn't even turn up. You know, you always in Islam you have angel suddenly turns up when there is a need. But in this occasion, angel doesn't even turn up and then tell, oh, Allah says that's wrong. You can't do that. Or Allah says, now from now on, practice this. And Allah is silent. His angel is silent.
Yeah.
And what Muhammad does, who's supposed to be the best example to whole mankind, he gives an awesome advice.
Yeah. So you're right. So this lady is pleading with him. She's saying, by Allah, I have done no wrong. So in the Arabic, she's actually saying, Wallahi ma li ilayhi min dhanb, which means, I swear by Allah, I have not wronged him ever or done a sin against him ever. And actually, I don't want to be indecent, but when the man says, I'm very strong and can satisfy her,
yeah, it's in there.
The Arabic is actually more graphic.
Can you give us the Arabic?
What is that?
English translation, actually. Read the Arabic and give us the English.
I'm a Christian, like I can't say it. But it's basically saying I
can sexually satisfy her.
Sorry, I can't.
Okay, that's fine.
Like
no,
very.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm not gonna say it.
Even that actually says a lot about Islam.
But the translator here is being very, and I'm glad, very PG, which I'm glad for. But the Arabic is much more concerning.
Okay, let me just express something. The person who put Bukhari together, okay, was not ashamed of to use that phrase, which they are trying to hide from non-Arabic speakers.
Yeah.
Muhammad was not, he wasn't happy with that phrase. People who were all in that environment, Aisha, Muhammad, husband, kids, they were all happy with that phrase in 7th century. But in 21st century, a Christian woman thinks her principles or her faith is not allowing her to pronounce that word. That says a lot about man of God or man of Allah versus woman of God.
All I can say is the Arabic speakers, please have a look here. They will understand what I'm talking about.
Before we forget the questions, I've got 2 questions here. One of them is
it linked with the topic, Daniel?
Yeah, they both are.
Okay.
Anyone tell us this Arabic woman, scholar in the video, what are her credentials? What is your credential for translating this in Arabic?
Okay, just a moment. Let me just say something. What kind of degree you will need to just able to read Arabic and then you read Arabic, understand Arabic, comment on Arabic, and use the Arabic dictionary? What do you need? You need to be Einstein?
You need high school. You need high school Arabic to be an Arab for enough to be a teenager.
Okay, so you don't need to be Einstein.
For that person, all I can say is, if you don't believe me, read the English yourself. It's been translated by a scholar. And also go to the dictionaries, which I've been using the help of here. Yeah. So do that. And I don't want to obviously blow my own trumpet, but all I want to do is just show the truth of Jesus Christ and compare what I know and use the knowledge that I know, even if it's little, with Arabic. So, and if that person, if anybody catches a mistake that I make in Arabic, I'm happy. Just let me know. Tell me if I've done something wrong. Prove me wrong if you have the knowledge, and I'm happy to take the feedback. We all make mistakes, but if I have the knowledge that I can help somebody with, I'm gonna share it, and I don't need a degree for that.
Okay. Can I just add something on that, sister?
Yeah, and I've got a question for you, Hudson.
Okay. So far, the hadiths we are reading,
Yeah.
we are comparing them actually with the, like, I am reading the translation and then you are reading the Arabic.
Yeah.
I did not do the translation.
Mm-hmm.
Sister did not do the translation. Daniel did not do the translation. Translation is done by a Muslim scholars.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Even like if you just forget the Arabic, even the translation is messed up. Even the translation is messed up. So first check the translation, then go and check the Arabic. There, it's very easy to have access to them.
Yeah.
And the sister said, none of us needs to be Einstein to just put those things together. Very simple. Look at the English. If you have a problem, what the English says, check out the Arabic. Today, if
Yep.
you are questioning the Arabic, that means you have no problem with the English translation. That says a lot about your moral standard.
Yeah, I mean, the Muslims, they always hide behind Arabic. When you bring an Arabic speaker, they hide behind
Not anymore,
the
Daniel.
classic Arabic or whatever they call it. And then if you bring anyone like that, they will just keep hiding. This is just you can't run, you can run but you can't hide. That's how you say in English. You can run, but you can't hide because DCCI will catch you. Okay, Hatun, this is for you, yeah?
Is it linked with the
Um,
question?
can you answer the question? Is there a different flogging for a wife as opposed to a slave?
I think the hadith we read, it was saying, don't do, let's say, I'm just giving an example. Let's say if you are going to flog your slave 20 times
Yeah.
and very, very badly, don't practice the same way you are going to flog your wife. There is a difference between flogging the wives and the slaves.
Mm.
I think flogging is the same action, like we read from the biblical Christian scripture. Flogging is the same action, but you don't do you have two women in front of you. One of them is slave, other one is your wife. So you don't do the same thing. You don't
Was the
do as same amount, let's say.
So was the Arabic word for flogging a slave and flogging your wife, was it the same, daughter or
Yes,
wife?
yes, there is like one. There was a one word.
It was the same. Do you want me to share the screen or do you want me to move on or?
No, I mean we've shared it already, but that's
Yeah,
good.
it was the same. It was the same word.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does Islam justify this passage?
Okay, the
I
one.
don't want the questions to, pile up. Last question, and
Which
then we
passage are you talking about? Are you talking about her screen is
Surah
green
4.
and her dress?
Surah 434. Surah 434.
How does Islam justify that?
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the
this
question
is the view of
the
Allah.
yeah.
This is the view of Allah. This is like Allah says, this is my solution. As a husband, if you fear that your wife is going to be disobedient to you, not to Allah, but to you, this is my solution. So Islam doesn't have a problem with that. But human beings have a problem with that. Some Muslims have a problem with that. Some Muslims don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian woman. I have a problem with that because, first of all, it contradicts the Bible. It goes against the teachings of the Bible. Secondly, it takes the value and dignity of woman from herself. Islam has no problem with that because this is the divine solution from Allah. People have a problem.
So Islam justifies everything in terms of the beating that we've said, but some people are just against it. That's what you mean.
Yeah, because this is Allah giving Surah 4:34 with
Yeah.
all in His wisdom. Remember, Allah is all knowing, all powerful, all awesome. Allah in His wisdom, He knows what happened in the past. He knows what's going to happen in the future. and he predestined everyone with all of their actions, gives this solution. And sadly, Muslims had to be faithful at the time of Muhammad, and Muslims have to be faithful in today's 21st century, unless they say, let's get rid of Surah 434.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sister, we were in. Do you want to make any comment on the hadith? The woman who is being beaten and her skin is greener than her dress. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think we've said it that she's there was no rebuke from Muhammad. He didn't say, why did you give her bruises? You should have just beat her lightly, should have just used the toothbrush. He didn't tell the husband off. He seemed to have less compassion than Aisha. So that's a problem, because he's meant to be the perfect one, not Aisha.
Yeah.
And the believing women were the most suffering women, which is, again, so where is the example to the rest of humanity if your women are suffering the most?
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if there is any Muslim over there, I don't know how many people are watching, but if there is any Muslim over there who wants to tell us what's happening here, who wants to comment on it, you can call us, Skype DCCI Ministries. But if you are going to make that call, please make sure you are okay to be recorded. I don't want to deal with your personal issues after the recording, okay? So we looked at the hadith where Aisha expressed her concern for whole Muslims, comparing Muslims with others. And then she says, I never seen anyone suffering as believers, as Muslims. And then she gives us the example. A woman who has been beaten and her skin is greener than her dress. Muhammad sends her back to the husband and then says, you have to have sex with him if you want to get divorced. That says a lot. That says a lot.
So is that called purification in Islam? She needs to be purified through a sexual intercourse with someone else.
I don't think that's what it is. I think, before she can go back to her husband, the previous husband, number one, the marriage has to be consummated.
Yeah, it has some links with the Surah to 200.
Yeah.
230.
But that's different topic. That's, yeah.
No, that's...
Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Muhammad says, man who's supposed to be the example of mankind, a man will not be asked as to why he beat his wife.
Interesting. He doesn't even have to give a reason.
Yep. Okay.
That explains it all. We don't need to say anything.
There's nothing to say.
Okay. Let's look at this one, because this one is another disturbing one. The hadith we are going to read is this woman who wants to be faithful, who wants to take time and pray, Allah, fast, all those, like do her duties as a Muslim. But something goes wrong along the way. And then let's see what happens. What does Muhammad advises them? Daniel, our English speaker.
Stop saying that, yeah? A woman came to the mercy of mankind while...
Daniel, just read as it is. So we don't want people to kind of tell you that you were making it up stuff. Just read as you can see.
Okay, sorry. I thought I saw mercy to mankind. Sorry. A woman came to the Prophet while we were with him. She said, Apostle of Allah, my husband Safwan ibn al-Muta beats me when I pray and makes me break my fast when I keep a fast. and he does not offer the dawn prayer until the sun rises. He asked Safwan, who was present, about what she had said. He replied, Apostle of Allah, as for her statement, he beats me when I pray. She recites 2 surahs, and I prohibit her to do so. The Prophet said, if 1 surah is recited during prayer, that is sufficient for the people. As regards her saying, he makes me break my fast, she dotes on fasting. I'm a young man, I cannot restrain myself. The Apostle of Allah said on that day, a woman should not fast except with the permission of her husband. As for her statement that I do not pray until the sun rises, we are a people belonging to a class, and that is already known about us. We do not awake until the sun rises. He said, when you awake, offer your prayer.
Okay. I think for this one, sister, you would agree with me. We need Arabic. Have you got the Arabic of this?
Yeah, I have it. We do need the Arabic. It's
Okay.
yeah, I've got it.
Yeah. So far what we have is we have a woman who is trying to be faithful, praying and fasting. Remember, one of the 5 things you've got to do.
Yeah.
But Muhammad advises how does it needs to be done. Yes, sister. Let's look at it.
So I'm gonna read the bit. So it says here, زوجي صفوان بن المعطل يضربني إذا صليت, which means my husband Safwan beats me if I pray. Now and makes me break my fast ويفطرني إذا صمت. Notice that he beats her. She hasn't disobeyed him. So this is breaking the surah. She hasn't disobeyed him. All she's done is pray, and he beats her.
And just a moment. So he didn't advise her either.
He didn't advise her anything. So
he didn't say, I'm not going to sleep with you tonight.
He
didn't do the first 2 things in the Surah 434.
Yeah, he went straight to the hitting. Okay. And remember, he's being bad Muslim. He doesn't pray the Fajr prayer until the sun rises.
Yeah.
So he's missing prayer time is a sin in the Islam.
Yeah, but I'm sure Muhammad is gonna address that. I'm sure Muhammad is gonna say in Arabic,
yes,
why did you not follow first 2 principles?
Yeah.
And why did you not wake up on the time for your prayer? Because remember, Muhammad is the walking Quran.
Well, he doesn't say that. He doesn't say that, Hatun. He says, فَإِذَا اسْتَيْقَظْتَ فَصَلِّ, which means when you awake, pray. So he's not telling him to wake up in time. He's telling him, oh, when you wake up, do it. Yeah. Okay. So he's taking his side in everything. And he's telling her here that she prays for too long. She prays with 2 surahs, and that he asked her not to, right here. And then Muhammad says, actually, just do 1 surah. That's enough for people. It says here, لو كانت سورة واحدة لكفت الناس. 1 surah is enough for everyone. So see, he's taking his side again. Even though she's being a good Muslim, she's giving 2 surahs instead of 1 in the prayer. He's saying, well, actually, 1 is enough. Don't worry about it. And then he says about making her not fast. He's saying, I'm a young man. I can't have her fast. Obviously, when you fast, you can't
have sex.
Yeah. So again, Prophet, peace be upon him, says, لا تصوم امرأة إلا بإذن زوجها. Don't fast unless you have his permission. Where every step he takes his side, and he doesn't tell him off for beating her.
So, a woman who is trying to faithfully follow what Allah is telling people to live as a Muslim.
Yeah.
She's trying to fast. She's trying to pray.
Yeah.
She's doing her best. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. But she gets beaten, and Muhammad Muhammad has no problems with that. Muhammad doesn't even turn to the husband and then say, oh, tell me, when did you tell her off? Or Muhammad doesn't say, oh, when did you not sleep together? Or Muhammad doesn't say, oh man, you are just a human being and God comes first. Muhammad doesn't even say that.
Yeah. This woman, from a Muslim point of view, is completely innocent. She hasn't done anything to. All she's trying to do is fast and pray, and she's got beaten up for it, and he hasn't told him off for beating her.
And can you just read the reason again? Because he can satisfy her.
Whereabouts? Sorry.
It's the part like, oh, like I want to have sex with her, but she's praying and fasting, therefore I can't do that.
Yeah, right
When
here.
you say I can't restrain myself.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
It says "Ana rajul shab fala asbir," which means I'm a young man. I can't have patience with this. Which is, it's like
perversion.
everything is about the physical desires of that guy, even though the woman is righteous, and she's been beaten for it. He didn't even notice that the husband didn't sit with his wife and try and find an agreement. He just went straight to the beating.
So, can I just break it down? Okay. Probably my English is failing again. So, 2 rakat prayer takes a couple of minutes, not even 5 minutes. Okay. 2 rakat prayers are very quick.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is the moment while woman is doing, let's say, sake of the argument, 2 rakat prayer.
Yeah.
Husband is there, and then husband says, okay, I need to have sex now. Husband cannot even wait for like 5 minutes.
Okay. Like, I don't know much about men. Like, that doesn't sound like a normal. I don't know. I'm not the person to comment on this. Sorry.
Daniel?
I'm not going to comment on that. Sorry.
Okay, I'll comment that as a woman. That's what's happening.
Dirty.
That's what's happening. It takes less than 5 minutes, like even like maybe 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to do the 2 rakat of prayer. But husband cannot wait. What is the solution? From now on, you cannot fast without my permission as a husband. Ignore Allah. Allah told you you need to fast. Ignore that. But now you've got to follow my instructions because you need to meet up as a wife. You need to meet up with my sexual desire.
But Hatun, that's not a wife. That's like a sex slave. That's not how you treat your wife.
Yeah, but in the I think Hadith talks about being wife.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying
that's just face value, you know.
That's not how you treat a wife.
That's how you do not treat Christian wife.
Well, yeah. Can I just say something? Say something for the Muslims listening. I know that the vast majority of them are not like this. I know. Yeah. We're not trying to say that you're all like this. We're just looking at the sources to see the people, the role models for you, Muhammad and the people around him, how they lived, how they treated their women. Get better role models. Jesus Christ.
I'm just going to comment on these 2 questions quickly. Power drink, whoever you are, I think you can't stand on your own 2 feet. It's a shame, but that goes around to all Muslims who refer back to the Bible when we are completely talking about the Quran and the Hadith. He said, God commanded.
Just be accountable for what Islam teaches. Just one evening, guys.
Okay. Well, let me comment on it, and then you guys can comment. God commanded beatings in the Bible and to kill children, boys, and keep the virgin girls alive. Now, firstly, if you condemn this scripture, this part of the Bible, you condemn in the Quran because the Quran affirms the Bible. Secondly, why are you going to the Bible to defend your faith? Why don't you defend your faith from the Hadith and the Quran? Why go to the Bible? Thirdly, this command, God never commanded anyone to beat anyone, but the killing the children of the boys and keeping the virgin girls was not to Christians. It was to the Israelites.
As sister was telling a couple of minutes earlier, this is not every Muslim practice, this is
Islam.
what Islam teaches.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like,
Exactly.
I think it's quite okay to say, as a Muslim, I have a problem with this, because I am saying that as a Christian, I have a problem with this as a Christian. I'm not saying this as a woman, but as a Christian or another human being, I have a problem with this. It's all right to say that and then say, I struggle to understand those things. But
That's
just
it. Be honest.
yeah, when you identify the issue, when you move on from the denial phase, it is better and it's easier.
And Muslims, be consistent in comparing it. If you want to compare what we've shown you with our scriptures, you have to go to the command given to us Christians, what we should do to our wives, where the Bible says, love your wives just Christ loves the church. We read it earlier on, Ephesians 5:25. This command here we're reading from the Hadith and the Quran, is to you Muslims. It's not to some kind of 7th century Arabs, you know, it's not just to them, it's for you Muslims right now. So do a proper comparison. What is the command to Christians and what is the command to Muslims now? And compare it and see which one is better. And we're telling you our one is better because Christ is at the center of it all.
Yeah.
Sad.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on. Okay, let me move to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna move a little bit quicker. So what we saw so far, we saw Allah's divine plan for within the marriage, and then we saw how did Muhammad respond when people went to Muhammad with saying they have an issue, there is a domestic violence. How did he respond? It's not the domestic violence, it's like something worse than that, but I don't know the phrase anyway. And now, so let's see how the first Sahabas, how the first followers of Muhammad respond on the wife beating or woman beating. Our English speaker.
Hatun, can you stop saying that?
It's a compliment. You get only on the live stream, brother. Just enjoy it.
Okay, narrated Aisha, Abu Bakr came towards me and struck me violently with his fist and said, you have detained the people because of your necklace, but I remained motionless as if I was dead, lest I should awake Allah's apostle, although that hit was very light. No, sorry, painful. Muslims, how are you looking at this? This is Sahih al-Bukhari in your own most authentic sources.
So I'm just gonna try to understand this because my English is failing in here. So who is Aisha?
The daughter of Abu Bakr.
No, wife of Prophet in here.
Okay, the wife of Prophet.
Daughter of Abu Bakr. In here, he is the wife of the Prophet. Sorry, she is wife of the Prophet. She's married now. Okay, she's married now, and this is the time when she loses the necklace. They leave her behind, all these things. She's wife of the Prophet, and her father strikes her where she's like shocked. She finds that very, very painful. We are just gonna take a quick call, okay, guys? That's like so quick. Okay, just a moment. I just need to call back, okay? Sorry, we are just responding the Skype call.
Hatun,
Hello,
pick it up.
Atun. How are
Hello, peace of Christ be with you, brother. How are you?
I'm fine. God bless you. How are you?
Good, thank you.
How are you, Brother Daniel, and our dear
Yes, Rob. Yeah, good, good. How are you?
Hi, brother. God bless you.
God bless.
So, brother, we are talking about Surah 434 and
Yeah.
looking at the some hadiths which link with the Surah 434 or actions which has been mentioned in Surah 434.
Yeah.
Hatun, can you stop sharing your screen because we can't see anything? Pretty much. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, that was not a compliment, but thank you, Daniel.
That's a comment from YouTube, so.
Okay, sorry. Brother, do you have anything to share with us regarding 434 or the hadiths so far we looked at?
Well, yeah. First of all, I want to say God bless to everyone in the chat. Thank you again for having me. Last time I really enjoyed our live show. What I want to mention is when Muhammad, there's a story in Sahih Muslim where Muhammad goes outside in the dark. And Aisha, she noticed it and she goes after him. And when he noticed that someone is following him in the dark, he goes back and she goes back because she knows she saw him turning back. So he started to jog and she started to jog too. So when she came back, she was really tired. And Muhammad asked Aisha, his beloved wife, baby wife, were you the one following me? She said in the beginning, she said no. Then he asked her, why are you breathing so heavily? And then she confirmed that it was her who were following Muhammad. So the Prophet of Islam, the wonderful husband, the perfect example, he wanted to discipline his wife, and he made a fist and he hit her on the chest. And Aisha says, فلهدني في صدري لهدة أوجعتني. So he made a fist and he pushed her, or he stroked her in her chest. I mean, if this is the perfect example that Muslims call a prophet, how is this a perfect man who was striking his wife, his beloved wife? Is this a true love story between the Prophet of Islam and the mother of the believers?
So, brother, we just have the hadith on the screen. Daniel, can you read the full hadith for everyone? And then we get everyone's comment on it.
Mm-hmm. This is your favorite one, Hatun, isn't it?
It's not my... I don't have favorite ones, especially people are beaten. Like,
Favorite in terms of
okay, I'm not like a fan of... I am not fan of like violence. I'm like very...
I know. You're very peaceful, we know. Okay, let's go. Muhammad B. Kwasi said, Aisha said, when it was my turn for Allah's Messenger to spend the night with me, he turned his side, put on his mantle, and took off his shoes and placed them near his feet, and spread the corner of his shawl on his bed, and then lay down till he thought that I had gone asleep. He took hold of the mantle slowly and put on the shoes slowly, and opened the door and went out and then closed it lightly. I covered my head, put on the veil, and lightened my waist wrapper, and then went out following his steps till he reached Baki. He stood there and he stood for a long time. He then lifted his hands 3 times, and then he returned, and I also returned. He hastened his steps, and I also hastened my steps. I ran, and I too, he ran, sorry, and I too ran. He came to the house, and I also came to the house. I, however, preceded him, and I entered the house. And as I lay down in the bed, he entered the house and said, why is it, O Aisha, that you are out of breath? I said, there is nothing. He said, tell me, or the subtle and the aware would inform me. I said, Messenger of Allah, may my father and mother be ransom for you. And then I told him the whole story. He said, was it the darkness of your shadow that I saw in front of me? I said, yes. He struck me on the chest which caused me pain, and then said, did you think that Allah and his apostle would deal unjustly with you?
Yeah, this one. Rob Christian.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you, are you happy to be recorded on this live stream?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
This is why I called.
No, you never know what happens after the live streams usually.
Yeah.
So is this the hadith you were talking about?
Yes, and
Okay.
as you were listening to Daniel, he basically confirmed what I said.
Yeah.
You know, that how can this be a perfect example? I mean, was the perfect example of Allah, the Prophet of Islam? Didn't he had any other way to question or discipline his wife? I mean, is she really an animal to be dealt with like this? I mean, is it normal in Islam to beat your wife? I mean, he made a fist. If you read Arabic, he made a fist and he struck her with a fist, like hitting, you know, in a boxing match.
Okay, let's just share the Arabic with the people who are watching, sister.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Okay, so since we've got 2 Arabic speakers.
You're spoiled. You've got 2 Arabs now.
Salam al-Masih, by the way. Salam al-Masih.
Salam al-Masih معك أخويا.
Habibi.
Okay, so the word here is lahda. Can you see it's highlighted?
No, it's you need to share your screen, sister. I can see it.
Yeah, it takes a couple of seconds for YouTube to see it, brother.
All right.
Okay.
So as the brother read, he says falahadani lahda. Can you see lahda? It's highlighted.
Yeah.
If you go to the dictionary, lahda I've highlighted. It's same. Can you appreciate that it looks the same?
Yeah.
أدني لهدة في صدري أوجعتني.
في صدري أوجعتني, which means he pushed me violently. 6. Can you see here the meaning? Pushed him violently upon the chest, struck him in the breasts. That's what it means. And then she says أوجعتني, which means cause me pain, right here. So
did you catch how they are sugarcoating it in the English translation? Did you catch it?
Give me a shove. A shove is a bit gentle, I think, for lahda. Do you agree, brother?
Yeah.
I think that's is that the sunnah.com?
It is sunnah.com.
Okay. Yeah. Sunnah.com did some updating, it looks like, because when I copied and pasted the hadith from sunnah.com, it was strike me on the chest. But as the time went on, they've done, it seems they've done some changings on that.
Some sugarcoating, right?
Okay. Can I just ask a couple of questions to these 2 Arabic speakers?
Yes.
So Surah 434 says, advise the wife, separate the bed, and then beat her.
Yeah.
Okay. So can anyone point out for me the hadith which we looked at? Where is Muhammad advising Aisha? Where is Muhammad telling Aisha, I'm not gonna sleep with you? And then he practiced the 3rd option. Anyone can point that out to me from the hadith?
Nowhere.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure, guys, you are both Arabic speakers. I am sure it is somewhere there, because we wouldn't want Muhammad, who's supposed to be the best example to whole mankind, disobey what Allah said.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. Are you sure? And I say, I confirm.
Yeah.
Sister?
Same here. I confirm. Nowhere here does he advise or leave her in the bed. And by the way, what did she really do to deserve this?
It was her night. She was just like checking out where her husband is going.
Oh, he was acting weird. He walked out, not talking to anyone, not doing anything. She walked after him to see what he's doing. And then she came back. What's the big crime here?
But actually it shows, I don't know what you think, guys, but it shows she wasn't even trusting her husband. When her husband just like sneaks out the house, she's freaked out something is gonna happen, and then she decides to follow her husband. That says a lot about the trust issues within the marriage.
But not only that, sister. Here we have the so-called prophet of Islam, the self-proclaimed prophet of Islam, who is not following his own Quran. But we have also the father of Aisha, Abu Bakr, when he came to see the Prophet, Aisha again and his her husband Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, they were having an argument. And Abu Bakr, her father, when he came in, he heard it and he slapped her around too. So not only did Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, follow the advice that is in the Quran, chapter 4, ayah 34, first advice, and right, but also the father of Aisha, the first caliph of Islam, didn't follow his own Quran. So here we have the Prophet not following his own Quran and the first caliph not following.
Yep. Right here, Abu Bakr got up went to Aisha and slapped her on the neck.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that brother was talking about. And he did it in front of Allah's Messenger.
Okay, let me share the screen for that.
I'll stop sharing?
No, okay, I find out actually we can do it at the same time. But I need to press something else, just a moment. Okay, let me make this big. Yeah, this is the hadith you are speaking about, brother.
Yes.
Muhammad's wives were beaten. Oh, sorry, there is a spelling mistake with the wives. Muhammad's wives were beaten in front of him.
Yes.
So it's not only Muhammad did.
And remember, the Muslims, when Abu Bakr and Omar, when the Sahabas are mentioned, they say, Radiallahu an. They say, may Allah be pleased with him. They praise them. Those are the people who have been promised paradise by Muhammad himself. They're the role models. And they're beating women left, right, and center.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the Shia make it even more worse. If you go to the Shia, they will say, yeah, Aisha was really a devilish woman. She deserved to be beaten by the Prophet and Abu Bakr. Lord have mercy.
Did they say that?
This is the beauty of Islam. Allahu Akbar.
That's terrible.
Yeah, anyway. Okay, we've got 2 people are waiting for me to call them back.
Okay, thank you for having me. God bless everyone in the chat.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for your contribution. I'm sorry topic wasn't lovely, but we appreciate your contribution.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye.
God bless.
Thank you. God bless.
Okay, we've got Islam critic on the phone.
Okay, my beauty sleep pattern.
Hello, sir. Peace of Christ be with you.
Hi, Hatsun. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, brother?
Great. I just wanted to run something by your Arabic speakers. Can they hear me okay?
One of them left, other one is here. Yes.
Okay. So I have a different kind of a spin on this, and I'm not sure what the Arabic is behind struck. But you do get alternate translations, as you guys mentioned in Sahih Muslim, for example, 21:27, 22:56, where he shoved her instead of struck her. Mm-hmm. However, because Muhammad was a mystic, I'm always looking for the sort of demonic side of things. And what you find in Sahih al-Bukhari, for example, 3274, 509, is that one thing that Muhammad prescribes when a devil comes to you is resisting by shoving. And then you also find, very interestingly, in Sahih Muslim, let's see, let me pull it up here. Muhammad says to Aisha, has your devil come to you? And he's referring there in the context of jealousy. So there's a direct connection between jealousy of Aisha and then Muhammad connecting that to a demon. So one way that he tried to quell Aisha's jealousy was to attribute it to a demonic force. And of course, Muhammad has issues with the jealousy of his wives in general. And so one way to get rid of that is to attribute it to a demonic force, at which point she's going to want to distance herself from that jealousy. So if a Muslim wanted to go with the shoved option, to me, that really invokes the sinister demonic side of things that Muhammad was very much in tune to. So I think it's almost more damaging to adopt the shoving translation, because then it has Muhammad accusing Aisha of being under a demonic force because she was jealous, thinking that Muhammad was sneaking out that night. So I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit bizarre, but it's kind of a systematic approach to this whole topic of shoving and demonic, forces and jealousy and so forth.
Sister, do you have a comment to make on that?
I understand what you're saying, but I think from the Arabic, it doesn't say shove. It says sort of push violently. Like we checked in the Arabic, it says pushes violently upon the chest. So the hadith doesn't explicitly say anything about a demonic force here. It just seems that he was just annoyed that she was out checking on him, and then afterwards he says, you thought that Allah and his messenger would be unfair to you. So I think he realizes that she suspects him, and that's why he says that you thought that I was going to be unfair to you. I think she probably suspected he was going to another wife, which is why she followed. Right. That's what I'm saying happened.
So you have that jealousy connection, but what you mentioned there, the shoving violently, and again, obviously I'm going from the English, that's exactly the same terminology used in Bukhari 3274. The Prophet said, if while you are praying, someone intends to pass in front of you, prevent him, and should he insist, prevent him again, and if he insists again, fight with him, i.e. prevent him violently by shoving him, because such a person is a devil. So there's and then once again, that connection between Muhammad asking Aisha, has your devil come to you in the form of jealousy? So it's even if you want to take, the physical abuse thing and set that aside for a second, there's real emotional abuse between Muhammad and Aisha, because he's taking a perfectly natural response to being in a marriage with several wives and attributing that to a demonic force. So there's both physical, whether it's shoving or hitting, there's physical abuse as well as emotional and intellectual abuse at play there. So I think there's a lot of really bad stuff going on in this whole incident. But
Okay. Sorry. Islam critic, are you giving permission to be recorded? I hope yes, because.
Yes, it's too late now. Yes.
Okay, no, because okay, thank you.
Sure.
One of the practical thing I can suggest is maybe we can look at those two Arabic terms and then put together with the other Arabic dictionaries and then try to send you something, if that might be helpful, because in both of the occasions, and if it is not struck her on the chest, as you said, it's still pretty messed up because it's talking about Aisha to have her own Satan.
Yeah, and either way, you can't get around the intellectual and emotional abuse that Muhammad is applying to Aisha. So either way, that's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other question would just be, is it shoving violently or is it striking? And if it is shoving violently, then that just links it even more to emotional abuse from Muhammad. So yeah. Bad stuff. I dropped one of those hadiths in the chat, and I'll drop the ones from Sahih Muslim in as well, where Muhammad says that her demon has come to her. So
okay, you dropped them on the Skype chat.
Yeah, I can give them to you.
No, because okay, so you put them on the YouTube chat.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay.
And also notice, guys, that none of this, there's no toothbrush anywhere. Remember the video is called Toothbrush or Fist?
Yeah.
Abu Bakr, Muhammad, all the believers, they were using their hands. There was no toothbrush mentioned anywhere.
Okay. So we've got another call. We are going to make it. Islam critic, you are okay for us to look at those two words and then give you some things you might find useful?
I'd be very interested in your input. Thanks so much, Hatun, and your English speaker, Daniel. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, brother. God bless you.
Yeah. God bless.
Okay. Sorry. Now I'm gonna call Imam Abiodun. Sorry for the pronunciation. I'm just gonna return the call. Imam Abiodun. I think I take that as he's not there. Anyway, if he's listening, then do feel free to call us. He called us at 23:21, so 21 minutes past 11. Anyway, okay. So can we go back where we were? Sister, can you put the last hadith again? Where? Okay, sorry, we are just taking the call. Just one. Hello. Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Sir, are you okay? Are you okay to be recorded in this live stream?
Yes, yes. I heard. I was watching your live stream.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed the topic.
And so, who are you?
I am Imam Abiodun from Nigeria.
Okay. Are you Imam, or is that like just your name?
That's just like a name. I'm a Christian.
Okay. Peace of Christ be with you, brother, then.
Amen, amen. I've been watching you over time, and I wish, well, I'm a Christian apologist, and I'm on YouTube too. So my YouTube channel is Imam Abiodun. So I use my indigenous language for apologetics here in Nigeria, and it's subtitled in English. And I always follow you up, and I want to wish you well in all you are doing.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for exposing.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving risen Lord in Nigeria, and we know life for Christians in Nigeria is not very easy.
Yes.
Brother, can you so we are looking at the Surah 4 verse 34, where Allah gives a divine revelation to beat the wife. Have you got any comments, or have you got any feelings you want to express regarding this verse?
Well, one thing I want to say is that really, Muhammad is not a good model already. And when you talk about women, even so, people are not so informed here about Muhammad's attitude and how his revelation came. But one thing that I've always known about that is that it has defaced many women, and it has turned them to something else. But where I have issues with Muslim women is that they still try to cover up, and still there was a time a lady called me after watching my video on Takia and started talking to me anyhow, embarrassing and insulting me. And one thing I had to tell her was that you don't even have a place in Islam. You don't have a hand. In fact, there is nothing attached to a woman when it comes to the matter of Allah. So no advantage, just beat them, enslave them. And like the hadith that you actually quoted, the word feast and beat them, this has been the face of Islam, even in Nigeria. You see, people, they even beat their wives, their daughters. They don't even think a woman is worth giving honor to. And that is why they don't even follow the love of God.
Yeah, so that's the time. That is the time we step in as a Christians who love God and who concern for other individuals and their souls. We step in and we challenge their teachings with the goal of those individuals will give up Islam and come and worship one true God.
Yes, one thing I want to say concerning that is many of those people are in great bondage. They don't even have they don't have to talk, and they are not given the chance to talk or to choose. You know, one thing Islam does change people. And if it was easy for them, many of them would have counteracted that or maybe speak up. But here, it's not so easy. Even for a man to say he wants to give up, not to talk of a woman. So most of them, they come to our churches in the night. There was a time I was in the church and I saw a woman coming in the midnight with her hijab covered up, and I don't see her during the day, but I saw her in the video that day. Many of them go to mountains, they go to pray, and they love Jesus. Jesus is down their heart. But the one thing they can't do is that they're not free. They're great bondage, you know. When you cannot express yourself, you just have to follow suit. The man can bring another woman the next morning, and they don't have the mouth to talk. So when we talk about the love of God, it's a great thing. It's a great thing, and that cannot be found in Islam.
Yeah, brother. So because we are talking about Surah 4 and Surah 434 and Hadith, which links with the beating the wife. If that's all right with you, why don't we arrange Skype meeting outside of the live stream and then talk about the ministry in Nigeria and talk about Christian life and even evangelizing Muslims in Nigeria. Will that be all right with you if we arrange that time for another time? If we arrange that conversation for another time?
One thing is that we have to talk about that because the whole world needs to know what is happening down here. And Christians all over the world need to also know. One thing is what
brother,
very well.
Yeah, brother, I'm quite happy to set up a meeting and then discuss that. Even if that's all right with you, we can have a live stream, and then you can just tell us as a Christian who lives in Nigeria how life is for Christians and for Muslims in Nigeria. That will be very, very helpful for everyone.
Yes, it will be good. So you can just let's have that. One thing is that presently on my channel, I'm not ready to have any live stream now. But one thing is I can give you a call like this.
Yeah, that's fine. We can arrange Skype meetings. So after this live stream, I will drop you a message, and then I will propose a couple of dates and times we can arrange meeting and then discuss if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. In that case, thanks for calling us this evening, and we will probably see you very soon. God bless you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Bless you too. My guest Daniel is over there.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go to the last hadith again, where Muhammad beats his wife with not following the order of Surah 4 verse 34, if there is an order, and then we finish from there. If there is questions from the chat, Daniel, we can try to respond them on the topic. I'll pass it to sister for now. Sister.
Yeah. I've got them that hadith again about the shoving.
Yeah.
So which part do you want me to go to? Is it the shoving part again or the pain part?
Can you give us a quick summary of the hadith for those of us who forgot it?
So basically, the Prophet went out one night, and Aisha went after him, followed him to check where he was going, and then he came back. So she came back running because she didn't want him to see her. And then she was out of breath when she arrived. So he asked her, what's wrong? Why are you out of breath? Tell me where you've been, or Allah will tell me, he said. And then she said, I am the one who was following you. And then he gave her we talked about that word, lahda, which means a violent shove, pushed violently upon the chest, and it caused her pain. And that was it. That was the end of the story.
Yeah. So Muhammad beats his wife, who is identified as the mother of believers, without advising her, without separating the bed from her. He practiced the third order in Surah 4, verse 34. When we look at the Arabic version of this hadith, we see in Arabic word is struck.
It is. It's the word exactly according to the Lane lexicon. It's pushed violently upon chest.
Yeah.
Or pushed away, repelled, struck in the breasts.
So it's not like Muhammad is giving hug to his wife and then saying to his wife, I am sorry, you worried about me. You wanted to find out if I am all right or not.
No, the word for hug is yu'aniq. There's no word for hug here. The word is to push away with some...
Nice.
Okay.
Big exposure.
Once I did hear from member of the Dawa team, guy was saying sometimes when husband gives a hug to his wife, it can hurt because man is stronger than woman, therefore feel the pain. As it says, violently hit her.
Well, when you hug someone, you pull them in. The word is to push away. Push away violently. Can you see?
Yeah.
I'm just checking, like my Arabic is bad, my English is bad. I'm just trying to put that in the context.
He didn't bring her in, he pushed her away.
Okay.
So that is the opposite of what he did.
Okay, in that case, let me ask you a question. As a woman, last time when I checked you were female, while Allah gives the Quranic verse, and then advises husband, if you fear your wife is going to be disobedient to you, you can beat her. At the time of Muhammad, people did practice that. Muhammad was okay with that, and in all the occasions, Muhammad picked the side of husband, the one who was abusing the wife, and Muhammad's wives were beaten in front of him. That wasn't enough. He also beat his wife and his child wife. What does it tell you about Islam?
It tells me it's not from God. The voice of the Creator, like you said before, it says in Ephesians, husbands, love your wife. And also in Colossians 3:19, it says, husbands, love your wives and don't be harsh with them. You ask me as a woman, if you ask any woman, the most she wants is to be loved, when she gets married. And it's only in the Bible that God speaks about women with such affection. There's nowhere in the Quran, there's no direct command by Muhammad or the Quran to love your wife. I don't see that anywhere. And it's only God who designed us as women. He knows what we need. And that's why he gave a direct command. Love your wife like the Christ loved the church. That means sacrificially. You give yourself as a sacrifice for her. Not be the one to inflict pain. But if she's in pain, you put yourself in the middle. You want to prevent that pain, to sacrifice yourself for her. That's what women. That's what me as a woman. That's what I need. That's what I want. Not this, this harshness there. And obviously I can ask you the same question. You're a woman. What do you think?
Come on, Hatun, give us your opinion on this.
Daniel, don't make me to begin my killing this. I think overall, when you look at the core teachings of Islam, where Muhammad needs to be best example, where people need to follow Muhammad, the revelation he claimed to receive from God, the lifestyle he lived is not an example to me. And I wouldn't suggest that ideology for people to follow either. It is dangerous for mankind.
Yeah.
And as we looked at the occasions, like he did not even follow his own revelation.
Yeah.
And like a woman is like, people would say I'm not that emotional, which I hope Daniel disagrees with that. But even if I believe if I see someone who is beaten in front of me and her skin is greener than her dress, I would show some, what is that thing?
Compassion.
Yeah, I would show compassion, and like I would probably hold her hand or something.
Yeah.
But in here, in that hadith, like what Muhammad does is just express his concern for the husband.
Yeah.
It is pretty bad, pretty bad. Therefore, I'm so grateful that I'm Christian. I'm so grateful that God of Bible redeemed me and rescued me. And I'm so grateful that as I look at the examples of Jesus in Christian scripture, I do not see this. We all know marriage is hard. Marriage is pretty hard work. Like you just start, it's hard work, but that doesn't mean Allah with his all wisdom gives the solution for the for the issues between husband and wife, and then say, okay, if you fear this is what your wife is gonna do, because marriage is so hard, all I want you to do is like beat your wife.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable at all.
Yeah.
And clearly it was not acceptable to Aisha, because Aisha expresses her concern when she sees Muslim women are suffering. It's all bad. It's all bad. Daniel?
Yes, it's a mess.
It's a mess, and people who follow the ideology of Islam clearly needs Jesus. Do we have any questions?
Not on the topic. They keep going back to the Bible.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay, if people are going back to the Bible, let me pass the mic to Sister. Sister, you make your conclusion and summarize for us what we have and what we need. And then we pass it to Daniel, and then Daniel finishes with the Bible. Since people are asking about Bible,
yeah,
we can give them what the Bible says about it.
Yeah. For me as a human being and as a woman, I was given value by the Lord Jesus Christ. When he came to die, he died, covered me with his blood. I'm a woman, the same way he would cover a male believer with his blood, you know. And when I believed, I got the same spirit that a male believer would get. We didn't get half the spirit, you know. The topic this today was about beating the wife, and we had a look at the command in the Quran about disciplining the wife. We saw that it wasn't the same command when the husband was the one causing trouble. The tone was softer. We looked at the example of Muhammad, who is the prime example for Muslims, the role model, and his Sahaba, his companions, and they all beat their wives, including also Umar ibn Khattab, which he beat, you know, his wife. Abu Bakr beat Aisha. Aisha was beaten also by Muhammad on one occasion. And the question for Muslim women here is that what you want for yourself? Is that what you want to follow? Is that the ideology you want to follow?
No caller.
Let me just take this call, guys. Hello. 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 Okay, we've got caller who one of the option can't hear us or doesn't want to talk to us. Anyway, we can't hear you, sir, or madam. Feel free to call us back. Sorry, sister.
Yeah, that's all I want to say. I can give it over to Daniel then to speak about the Bible.
Yeah. Daniel?
Well, The message I have is to those Muslims who keep saying, why are you hating on us? Why you hate preachers? We're not hating on you. We, as I said it to Shamsi in one of the debates, I believe if your neighbor's house is on fire, you will go and help them. And we believe your house, your life actually, is on fire with Islam. And we are motivated by love. The Bible is full of love. In First Corinthians chapter 13, that is the epitome of love. And love does no harm to those people that he loves, you know. That's the essence of love. That's the character of love. And our God is love. He doesn't have love, he is love. That's what the Bible says. So that's where you want to come back to. We're not hating on you, we're showing you because your imams are not the ones who love you. You know, your leaders are not the one who are loving you. Your leaders don't show you these things. They don't go through these things with an Arabic speaker, you know, and properly dissect the hadiths and the Qurans. But we are loving you so much that we're reading your own sources to you. We're not hating you. It's because of love that we're doing this. I mean, some of you will get it, some of you will not, you know, but we hope that God comes into your heart because the Bible says, while we were yet sinners, you know, we didn't have to do anything. We were still sinners. God died for us so we can be reconnected back to Him. Your Allah does not do those things.
I just got a Skype message. It states, the Prophet said, message comes from Muhammad MH. The Prophet said, the best of you is the one who is best to his wife, and I am the best of you to my wives. The best of you is the one who is best to his wife, and I am the best of you to my wife. Yeah. That message came in from Muhammad Ahmed. If that is the case, Muhammad is the best husband who has been best to his wives, then Muhammad has to deal why he beat Aisha. Then Muhammad has to deal when people beat their wife and they approach Muhammad with his reaction to those people. And Muhammad has to deal with when his father-in-law beated their daughters in front of him while Muhammad was husband to them. So,
yeah, what does best mean in Islam?
I think that's not the definition in Oxford Dictionary.
Exactly. So if you beat your wife, you are the best, yeah, because that's the command.
That's, sir, you can feel free to call in to make your argument on that, but that hadith which you just send in simply confirms Muhammad is false prophet, Islam is false religion, because what he says does not match with what he did.
Yeah, he's suffering from something called schizophrenia. So there's double personality there. He's saying something there and he's doing something there. So, Hatun, there is a question here in Arabic. Can you check your phone?
Question in Arabic.
Yeah, just quickly, so daughter of Christ can answer the question because I can't read it. I think it's Surah 419 and Surah 228.
Just a moment. Sister, is your phone close to you?
Yeah.
To tell us the meaning of these two.
So can you just tell us what's happening?
Yeah. So he's saying, can you go, 419, which says, be good to your wives, live well with them. I'll go to that verse to show you.
What I would give now the Muslims, at least you are going to your own sources.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
At least, you know, let's start.
228. This Surah Al-Baqarah, 228. Let me share
Are
this.
you going there first?
Oh, let me share the screen. Can you see what divorced women? It says here, and I think that's what he means. And due to the wives, similar of what is expected of them, according to what is reasonable. Here it's just talking about divorce.
That's Surah 2 to 28.
28. So that's just talking about divorce.
Yeah, and then when you come to the 30, you see for you to marry with the husband who divorced you, you need to go and sleep with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's 2 verses after that.
Yeah, that doesn't help your case, really.
Exactly.
The other one is
4:19.
19.
Yeah, 1:9.
So you basically are trying to say that Islam is it's a good command there, kind to women.
I mean, if there was good command, then what is the bad command doing there?
Exactly. I mean, it says here, it's not lawful for you to inherit women by compulsion. So that means don't take their money. Do not make difficulties for them in order to take part of what you give them, which is what we called about the dowry.
Yeah.
So remember, the dowry is given so that you can, again, I can't say it.
Have sex with her.
Yeah, purchasing it basically. So don't take it back, because remember they've earned it, which is a horrible depiction. And live with them within kindness. I think that's what he quoted.
Yeah.
If you dislike them, perhaps you dislike something, and Allah makes it good. So remember that command in the Bible, love your wives. It doesn't say if you dislike them, you need to love them. It says no, if you dislike them, it's okay, have patience. Perhaps you dislike something and Allah makes it good. So even if you dislike them, just live with them in kindness.
So it talks about live with them in kindness, and it is the same surah.
Yeah.
Talks about you beat them. It's in the same surah.
Yeah, it's Surah Nisa. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know if Allah needs like help with the communication skills or something, but it seems when he say kindness, he's meaning something else, because in the same surah, in the same surah, which is like probably in the same page of this hadith, Allah is telling husband, if you fear your wife is going to be disobedient to you, to your husband, not to Allah, but to your husband, beat them.
Yeah.
That doesn't give you the description for kindness, but maybe I need to check the description for kindness. It might be like I might be failing with my English again.
Just notice that live with them in kindness is very general. Yes. When it comes to detail, it's the verse that we were talking about, the detail.
Go to the next one, sister. Before you just research, go to the verse 20.
Verse 20, if you want to replace one wife with another, and you have given one them a great amount, do not take back from it anything.
Okay, so this question is to the people who are married. Okay.
And remember, and this is in gifts here is added. He doesn't mean a great amounts in gifts. He means dowry.
Yeah. So
the way we know that is the next one. It says, how can you take it while you have gone onto each other and have taken? So again, it's saying, how can you take it when you've done the deed, basically?
Yeah, in verse 20, it says, if you want to replace one of your wife, like wife is not like you go to the Marks and Spencer and then buy a new mug, and then in 2 weeks after that you say, oh, I want a bigger mug. Therefore, I'm gonna go to Waitrose this time, buy a different mug, and I'm gonna replace my new mug, replace my Marks and Spencer mug with my Waitrose mug.
Well, that's what it's implying, that she is like a mug, because he's saying if you want to replace one with the other, you can't take the money back. Do not take it back, because remember, you've paid for her, right? You've taken from her what you needed now, which is the physical side.
Yeah.
And it says here in the next verse, how can you take it? How can you take the money back from the mug when you've used it, basically?
That's not very nice language or not very right language to use.
It's very demeaning. The brother who sent this, or the gentleman who sent this, read the verses and look what it's saying. It's saying treat them with kindness, and then it's saying, but if you want to replace her, let her keep the money that you've purchased her with, basically, because you've done the deed. But how can you say isn't that, if you have a sister or a niece, think about it. Think about it.
But this cannot happen the other way, though. Remember, the woman can do
the woman can't replace. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
That's not very feminist.
The woman can't replace, if she wants to replace her husband with another husband, there is no command in the Quran to say, well, pay him back or whatever.
Exactly. So it's good that they went to their own scriptures to try to answer it, but it refutes them, self-destruction on its own.
Guys, Islam has an issue. Alongside having lots of issues, one of the issue Islam has in the position of wife within the marriage. It is disturbing and it is not helpful in the marriage. Even if you go to the marriage counselors, they wouldn't advise you such a thing. Even like marriage counselors, even very, very liberal countries,
Yeah.
they wouldn't say, okay, husband, you beat your wife, please go back. Husband, those counselors would say, okay, what is the issue? Tell one another, how does it make you feel? Like Muhammad doesn't even do that.
Just imagine in a Sharia court, or Sharia law, how they would advise couples when they have problems.
Yeah.
This is what they're going to use.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to live under Sharia law.
Anyway, good thing that we have a risen Lord who came and died on the cross to redeem and rescue us.
And Muslim women, your value is better than this.
Yeah.
Your value is better than this.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Anyway, I think we called the night. It's Daniel's bedtime for a long time ago.
2 hours gone past.
That's all right, Daniel. Still, God loves you and He died for you. Sister, thank you very much for joining us.
A pleasure always.
We appreciate all your input, and especially
very good.
We appreciate as you expressed your concern for people, for Muslim people.
Yeah.
And we do thank you for those brothers who called in through Skype, and those of you who are helping in chat and also contributing to conversations in the chat. If everything goes according to plan, by God's grace, tomorrow night we will have Sam Shamoun joining us on the live stream. That should be fun. Sam Shamoun has amazing mind.
What's the subject, sister?
I'll tell you that later. Yeah. So he's got amazing mind, and he's got great love for Lord Jesus Christ as well as for Muslims. So that's gonna happen 11 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Then guys, thank you very much for all joining us, and we'll see you on another live stream. And Daniel, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, you'll see me tomorrow.
And sister, I'll see you during the week.
All right, sister. God bless you.
God bless you all.
God bless.